are bits and pieces of paper that are remnants from cutting my Patreon rewards print. And I didn't want to throw them away because of these. These are created by, I have a very high-end paper trimmer that's kind of like industrial, and it cuts very slim, and that was not intentional. I needed to trim a very small amount because I had made a boo-boo at one point, and then I was going to throw them away, and then I looked at them and I thought, oh, these would make such nice structural elements on a canvas. So I decided to keep all of these bits and pieces and incorporate them in the canvas and see where it's going to lead me. I have no preconceived idea of what I want to do. I got a hold of this coarse molding paste here by Golden, and I've been meaning to try it for a while. So what I think I'm going to do is lay down some of that paste. It won't dry clear, and that's perfect because I don't want necessarily to keep a lot of that canvas, but just some of it around it. So I'm just going to take a palette knife and add that towards the middle. And I know that the coarse molding paste will provide a nice textural element for me to add some kind of paint or even a wash of watercolor or something. I don't know. I'm just going with the flow here. And before it dries, it will definitely grab onto these bits and pieces of paper. So I'm just playing around here, not thinking about too much about the outcome. I know I want to incorporate one of these little guys here. Let's see. So let's stop right here. I'm going to show you what it looks like from the side. Not sure that the camera will pick it up. As you can see, I've got some wobbly pieces of paper, which could be interesting. But it looks like it's going to work because it really grabs onto the paste. This one is just on its side. Let's see if I can actually make that work. If worse comes to worse, this piece is just gonna fall off and that's it. But I have added a piece kind of like on its side. There's another one here. So we'll see how that works. The first layer of paper and coarse molding paste is dry, and I have a roll of this crepe paper. It's a crinkly crepe paper. It's a neutral tone. And I've already started shredding it into smaller pieces, so I'm going to add that over top. My idea now is to have something textured and done with paper in neutral tones, and then I'll see what kind of color I add over that. I want to add something else too, so why don't I do it right now? I've got more of these frizzies. They look like twigs, and I kind of like the look of them all together like that. right, I'm very torn with this piece because I'm not sure at this point if I should cover it up with color or not. I absolutely love the effect of the white on the burlap. And just to show you, I also added some curlicues right here. And it is so solid. Everything is just like glued down so nicely. Here, I can probably show you from up close here. See that piece here? It's totally on its side. So it is essentially just glued right on the edges. Or on the other edge. And it's like, can you hear that, right? It's solid. And I love the fact that some of the pieces are still loose. They're just connected at some point. But it's kind of like almost interactive, and I love that. The reason behind me using the coarse molding paste in the first place was to see if it would hold the paper down, and I also know that you can play with inks and paint with water on this, and it's supposed to give like a nice texture for the color to grab onto. So I'm kind of torn. I don't know what to do. And of course I have this beautiful exposed burlap, which I'm determined to leave as is. So anyways, I'm just going to do it. Worst comes to worst, I can just do another piece all in white, following the same kind of model. But for this one, I'm just going to go ahead and add some colors. So for my colors, I have selected 2 colors of FW Pearlescent Liquid Acrylic. This one is called Sundown Magenta, and the other one is Mazuma Gold. But I also want to play with Dr. P.H. Martin's iridescent. So the pearlescence and the iridescence kind of like has the same finish. I find this is more reflective, of course, because it's almost kind of like metallic. But I have the copper plate gold and the nickel, and these are the, oops, price tag. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's expensive in Canada, right? $9.80. Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of like a whitish, not quite silver, which I prefer. So I think I'm just going to put the silver to the side. I'm going to use these 2. All right, so here's my idea. I don't want to flood this with water because of the jute that I have, and also this is still paper. It's not covered by the molding paste. The molding paste is kind of like under. So if I add a lot of water to this, it's going to flatten down, and I don't want that. So what I'm thinking of doing is using these 2 colors, adding a line, kind of one at a time. I'll do one color at a time. And then if I see that I need to mix some of these colors, then I'll do that. I will add a line and then use a brush with some water. I don't want to spray. And if I see that it's not moving enough, then I might end up spraying. But for now, I'm just going to try and control it with a paintbrush and some water. So I'm going to start with the Mazuma Gold. I'm going to give it a good shake. Alright guys, here goes nothing. I'm not nervous. I'm just like, you know, I want to make sure that this is the right way to go. But again, it's an experiment, right? So we need to play to figure out how it's going to go. I know that the paint will soak into the papers for sure. Because there's nothing protecting the paper, and the paper is very absorbent. So look at that color though. Whoa! That is quite potent. Wow. It's not moving much. It is not moving much. Okay, let's see if I add some water. See? Okay, let's zoom in. Alright, so this is where I need to be careful, because I don't want to have too much water on the burlap. But you see how the the molding paste grabs the color and carries it into the paste. Okay, so let's just put water here and see if I can move this. You know what? I'm going to see what it does when I spray. Here goes nothing. I'm going to start with a gentle spray. It moves a little bit, not much. More color. I'll add the metallic colors on top of all of that, and I'll probably try to hit just the paper. Sorry for my reach, I shouldn't do that. Yeah, I'm not crazy about this spray. That ink, the liquid acrylic, it's actually not ink, I guess. It's paint in a liquid form. Because it does say on the bottle, liquid acrylic, so it is paint. So that's probably why it's not moving as much as I thought it would. It's still nice though. Now my question is, do I leave some of these paper white, or do I add the color on all of it? I think I should still keep some of the color, some of the white. And I'm sorry if I'm mumbling, I'm just like thinking out loud here. Okay, I'm just gonna add the color, the water, right here and see if it travels. It kind of travels well. Yeah, it does. The paper is holding quite well, I have to say. It doesn't flatten out as much as I thought it would, even though I sprayed in a couple of places. I mean, this has started warping, but I don't mind because it just kind of goes with the rest. All right, so that was the gold. Let's do the magenta at the bottom, and at this point I don't want the two colors to mix a great deal. I don't mind if they do, but I'm not going to force it to. Oh, but hold on. Look at that color right there. See it? It's a beautiful orange. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the molding paste areas first. Yeah, it really isn't moving much. Okay, spray time. Whoa. Yeah, that's probably way too much water than I wanted to add, but dry, and hopefully the video will render the pearlescence of this. It's quite magnificent. I love it. I can't hide. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna add more. Next up is the iridescent Colors by Dr. P.H. Martin's. I don't think I'm going to add the gold. I think I'm just going to use the, what's it called? Nickel. So I'm going to shake that really well. Look at this. Do you see it when I tilt the board? Yum! I'm sorry, I'm getting way too excited here. But yeah, this is gonna be awesome on my walls. Oh my goodness, look at that. Seriously, this is like straight up metal on a board, almost. Okay, drying time, be right back. Years and years ago, I made some flowers, and they're out of a satin fabric, and they're just like a bunch of circles, different sizes of circles, and I burned the edges with a lighter, and then I put a brad through the middle. And I love these, and although this brad just happens to be the same color as one of the acrylic paint that I use, I don't like the black on this canvas, or I may end up using it in the end. But what I also found in the same box, I see I made some in white, I found remnants, not remnants, but extra petals. And so I kind of scattered them all around the canvas, and I like that look. I thought at first I was going to use black as a contrast on this piece, but I think white is more appropriate. Then I went ahead on my computer and I printed this wonderful quote that I absolutely love. It says, "The thing that is really hard and really amazing is giving up on being perfect and beginning the work of becoming yourself," by Anna Quindlen. So I'm going to cut that out because this is going to be actually the main focus of the piece. Okay, after much deliberation, I decided to go for this scheme. So let me show you what I did. I kind of assembled the quote here, not exactly in the middle, a little bit to the bottom right. And then I put a few petals. And this is, my idea is to have like two kind of like flower stems going this way, and then I'm going to add a bit at the bottom. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to add the bottom, but anyways, that is how I see it. So for the stems, I'm going to take a paint pen. I have a Sharpie, a fine point, and what I'm going to do is follow some of these paper strips that are here underneath. So let me put back the quote again. that will determine where my flowers are going to be. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm going to take Dina Wakley's Gel Medium because it's in a fine tip applicator, so it's going to help me glue those petals down. I'm going to put a whole lot, but just enough to hold the petal in place. I've got a lot of texture on here. Before I glue the bottom part down, some of the petals down there, I'm gonna glue the quote. For this I'm gonna use extra heavy gel matte just because I have a lot of texture, and I don't think that the regular gel is going to hold it. So I'm gonna load up the back of each of these. Let me just put that down here. And then clean the edges, and then I'm just going to drop it. Like I'm not going to push hard on this. As long as it catches some of the texture, it's going to stay in place. Alright, I have another flower, I just realized, and it's got a different rhinestone in the middle, and I find this more appealing, but the flower is bigger. Maybe I could, oh, look at this, maybe I could remove some layers. Ta-da! Look! Even another one. Yep, that's better. Alright, now we're talking. Ah, yeah, that's much better. Yeah. Okay, extra heavy gel. Here we go. Done. I'm calling this one done because I do feel that it's missing something, or there's something weird, but I don't know what it is, so I'm gonna leave it be. I absolutely love the pearlescent and iridescent liquid acrylic. Oh, yum. Look at that. Seriously? I'm gonna give you a close-up. I love the burlap, the rough texture of the burlap against the rough texture of the molding paste, but the shine of the fabric and the pearlescent liquid acrylics. This is quite spectacular. Look at that. Oh, I love it. And it was a lot of fun to do. I'm moving it so that you can see every nuances. Look at that. Ooh. So depending on where the light hits, you get cool effects. Really cool. And you know, I like the flower there. I think it balances, it kind of like brings, I guess the orientation of this piece of work is kind of like, you know, kind of like this, kind of like a bouquet, I guess. I don't know. That's my thinking. So I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I also hope that you've picked up a few tips here and there. Again, just play, experiment with your stuff. You know, I use liquid acrylics, but you can use pretty much anything that's iridescent or pearlescent. So I'm thinking silks will work, but it won't give you that opaque look. So if it's something that doesn't bother you, then go for the silks. Any iridescent paint, any metallic paints, like I know Viva Decor had a few. I think they're called metal something. Any metallic paint would do, I guess, and anything that's shiny, that is opaque, would totally work with that. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. It helps. And subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and I will see you later. Bye!